All right, guys, we are back for another edition of the After Buzz. I am Scott Lewis, aka Little Buzz, and of course our host.
Hi,
Brandon Coates. How's everything going this morning, man?
It's going really good. We had a really good show today. Although apparently people are really torn about this merging thing. Oh,
that's traffic, man. There's no hotter button to push.
Here's the thing. I'm going to end up doing a video on it. And the one thing I asked Buzz specifically today is when I've talked about it, has there ever been a reason I've given other than, have I ever said I stay in that lane to get in front of everybody? Because I don't.
Right.
That's not the reasoning behind it. The reasoning is it actually speeds up traffic. And the statistics have shown that it actually not only speeds up traffic, it also reduces the amount of time that slowdown is there. So like if there's construction, and I'm going into this way more than I want to right now, because I'm going to do a whole video about it.
This is a pet peeve of his. He's on this
Well, because
now.
People are like, oh, you're a douchebag for doing that. Well, yeah, there's those douchebags, especially the people, like we ran into this in Florida a lot, where if you're going to a Dolphin game, the whole freeway was like a parking lot. And then you get that guy who was driving like on the shoulder of the road.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, that guy's a dick.
That guy's a dick.
But if you're not utilizing all of the roadway, you're actually creating worse traffic. And the studies have shown that. You can disagree with me if you want, but show me numbers that say that back it up. Because you know what? Guess what? Sky's still blue. When you go outside,
pretty much,
it's blue.
Phil says, I agree with B. Maybe it does speed up traffic cuts if people are trying to cut in before the merge, then it'll back up more. So
that's true. That is what causes the worst traffic are early mergers. And the state that studied it, God, we're going way too much into it. the state here. I want to do the merge video like an AfterBuzz, like maybe tomorrow where we do it live.
Okay. Yeah.
But so this is the last I'm going to talk about it right now. But Minnesota is one of the states. It's Minnesota and Washington are the two that have really done this. And Minnesota has done the studies, and they show it where they actually have signs now that they say like right lane ending, and then right before they have signs that say stay in your lane.
Right.
And then they have an actual merge point, and the merge point is really close to right at the end. And guess what? It saves time.
Yeah.
It saves everybody time.
Well, that's how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be like this, like a zipper effect, and
that's what it's called. It's called zipper.
Nobody's educating anybody or anything. Another one, and I'm not going to get on this long either, but it's crossing. And El Paso has so many boulevards here, and how people try to turn instead of going all the way to the end of that turn, and then so you can see the other traffic. They try to turn right there.
We're going to have a fantastic traffic discussion.
This is going to be later. Quick note. Our sites are down at the moment. Maybe by the time you watch this video, if you're not watching it live, they'll be up. But if you're having trouble finding us on the site, you're not alone. Our sites are down, and we've got some gnomes working on it somewhere.
Yeah. So anyway, what I wanted to cover on this week's AfterBuzz, the first thing was kind of the FCC guidelines, rules, regulations, and all that other stuff, because I had to use that dump button a lot last week. One of which was because Fernie put in a Korn song that wasn't edited.
Uh-oh.
It's Freak on a Leash. And if you know Freak on a Leash, it's a cheap fuck for me to lay.
Yeah.
And he left it in there. Which happens. It's not the end of the world. That's why we have the dump. But then when Romy Rain came in, it was an issue with like the second sentence, man. She dropped the F-bomb. So let me start by explaining the dump button itself. Basically, when the station's on normally, there is no delay. When we get on, I go in and I hit a button.
Right. And
you can see like there's a series of lights that actually count the seconds, and it goes up to 7. So technically what we're doing is 7 seconds delayed if you are tuned into the actual radio. Now, that's split into 2 different dumps.
Ah, okay.
So if I have to hit it once, it takes away 3.5 seconds. If I have to get it again, it takes 3.5 seconds. And then it builds itself back up. It actually takes our audio and slows it down inaudibly to the human ear.
Yeah.
And you can actually see the lights lighting back up while we're on the air.
It's very cool. Because like you can, I mean, if you know it's there, you can maybe hear, I used to work on a delay that you could kind of hear it, but you'd only hear it if you were knowing to.
I worked with a guy who actually, when we would turn on the delay during his show, he complained if we didn't do it during the commercial breaks because he didn't like how his voice sounded while the delay was like building.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if he could actually tell or not, but for all I know, he could have. Who knows? But anyway, so then what happened on Friday was I'd had to hit the delay once because she dropped an F-bomb. And then this is where it got a little hairy, and people, like, for some reason, are complaining to me about it. One of my jobs is I am the protector of our license. So I need to be wary of what goes on, because if somebody does complain to the FCC and the FCC cracks down on us, it's my ass that's on the line.
We should get you a cape.
Along,
and it just says like protector of the license.
Along with anybody else who might be involved with it. I'm like the last line of defense, so I have to be very protective. And one of the things that you can't talk about is penetration, insertion, bodily fluids, stuff like that. And it's not concrete. Basically, it's the FCC. They would, like, if somebody complains about something, they go back and they listen to it. They go back and they watch it, if it's television, whatever it is. And then they make a decision. So we have to basically err on the side of caution. There's the obvious ones. Fuck, shit, stuff like that.
Exactly.
George Carlin's, 7 words.
Yep.
Those are obvious. But then there are those gray areas, penetration, insertion, stuff like that. And that's why when she said, I think she said penetrated first, and I hit the dump. And then she said insertion or something, and I went right into the song.
Yeah,
because it's at that point where we gotta clamor out.
So that's what they're talking about here in the chat now. That he had to cut everybody off when you went straight to the Foo Fighters. And Rick asked, "Are you fined or written up?" It
depends.
It depends. Well, if they go through the investigation process and they found that yes, it did happen, then the station could get fined. It's the FCC,
and the person can also be fined.
Exactly.
That's where it comes in that I'm going to be very protective of that, because if I slip up, I could possibly be fined. But anyway, so that's really kind of a brief. So wait, give
us like an example, like where you could get around it. Like obviously you can't be like, what was it? Was that Buzz said one time, like the
triple anal penetration?
Yeah, exactly. So like, where's the line?
That's the other problem is Buzz doesn't pay attention to this stuff. So he just, like, obviously he's not dropping F-bombs on the air, but he'll say things and
not thinking.
I've dumped him a lot and he doesn't know it. A way around it. I mean, it's really just, it's how you come up with the innuendos, ways to say things like something that could have easily been said. Basically, Romy Rain was trying to talk about how one of the girls in the Ghostbusters parody was being, having sex with a ghost.
Right.
You can say having sex with a ghost. It's putting the image of penetration, insertion, all that crap. That is what the FCC frowns on.
So you couldn't go further and be like, he was hitting it doggy style from behind or something like that. It's gray. It's a lot of gray area.
It depends on how it's said. It depends on how it's referenced. Like here's the perfect example that I explained on the air. I can call you a dick. I can't talk about my dick.
There you go. Yeah.
If I'm calling you by name, I can call you a pussy.
Right.
I can't talk about a girl's pussy.
Ah.
That's another thing right there. So like when people hear, like, obviously we don't want to use it too much because it can, like, too much of that can be a tune out just for a listener in general. Right. It had nothing to do with the FCC. But that is one of the things, like if you hear somebody say, oh, that guy's a dick, we technically can't say that on the air.
Right.
But I can't be like, oh, my dick itches. Like, you can't say that.
That would be a pretty good bit.
Yeah. So it's really gray. It's really gray. And I have the fun job of trying to be the judge of, what gets dumped and what doesn't get dumped. And that's the first time I've ever ran into it on Friday when I had to actively just go into a song because I didn't have any delay left.
Very cool. Let's see. All right. So let's go back here into the chat. Oh, yeah. So some people are saying or at least one person said that the audio is off from the video in our little.
Yeah. And I just got the
thing.
The logo's up.
I hit the wrong button.
Oh, okay.
Look, I'm trying to do like 5 things at once here.
Carlos asks, so you can call someone a pussy? Yes, you can. It's just really kind of tasteless. But for me personally, like, I really like crude humor, but when it comes to radio and the type of show that we do, I find it's more entertaining to try to find ways around using obvious words.
And also, it also gets to, like, some mom driving and loses her shit because you said shit or whatever or something like that, and then decides to call the FCC because she's got her panties in a bunch or something like that. And you just don't want to have to deal with it mostly.
Yeah. Like I actually had a complaint when LaMarcus Aldridge left the Blazers for the Spurs. I was working for a country station, and on the air I said, "Hey, when you get to San Antonio, LaMarcus, you might want to get checked at the doctor because you just screwed the whole town of Portland." A lot of people liked it. This one lady did not, and she messaged us, "This person needs to be taken off the air." And then I looked her up because she sent the message on Facebook. I looked this lady up. She's not even in our listening area. She's like, and it was like, you know what, lady, fuck you.
Okay.
That I can say here.
Now, I'm seeing that the sites are back up, by the way. I'm going to put the link in the Mo Show page.
Okay, so anything else about FCC that you think we haven't covered? Anybody in the chat have anything about FCC?
Yeah, because there are some like arcane, bullshitty kind of rules.
Like I do know, like the syndicated program that Kevin and I worked with before when we were both in Florida was Bubba the Love Sponge, and it was around 2003, which at that time the FCC was like big time Big Brother in it because of Janet Jackson's boob. Seriously, all because Justin Timberlake popped her titty out. It ruined it for everyone. And I want to like, you can go to websites and it'll actually show you, like, I guess CBS just recently got fined for a scene in like Criminal Minds or something like that. It doesn't explain all of them, I don't think, but it gives you some examples. And one of the ones that's always brought up is Bubba the Love Sponge. And it actually just happened to do with him. They were slaughtering a pig on the air, I guess, for like a pig roast.
Okay.
And they pumped in sound effects of a pig squealing.
Oh.
And people took offense to that. So technically it wasn't a curse word. It was in really bad taste. And I believe he ended up getting canned for that.
Phil asks, what happens if you don't say your letters and number on the air? I think you have to do it once an hour. That's called our
legal ID. You got to identify the station for the FCC, and it has to be within 10 minutes of the top of the hour.
Yeah. They're kind of not as strict about it as they used to be.
Yeah, there's been times where I know that people have missed it, so it's really not that bad.
But since now everything is kind of so automated with computers, like the music and stuff, like we just pop it in there and we don't have to worry about it. It's taken care of.
Carlos, can you replace fuck with puck? Yeah, I can say fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be really, you have to push that.
Yeah,
P.
you got to make sure that it's definitely the P. Rick, the Bubba and Hulk drama was awesome. No, it wasn't. We were on the front lines, man. It was boring as shit. Because it's like when we had him on down there, Bubba was out of Tampa, and he had Hulk Hogan on every single goddamn day, and it got like, you know how people will complain about Buzz talking about Trump constantly.
Okay,
that's all his show was. He would have Hulk Hogan on the phone. He would have Hulk Hogan in the studio, and it just got so repetitive. And it was always about Hulk Hogan saying, "You need an intern, brother. Have Hulk as an intern." It's like, so anyway, so I think we got. Well, let me shut this up.
So then also, when was the last FCC investigation? I don't know. We were investigated a while back, but this was before.
I've never been. I don't ever want to be.
Yeah, we were
knock on wood. I don't want to deal with it.
We were under some consent decree, but I don't think it was about anything we said on the air. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what.
But I think we're out of it now. I think it's all cool now. So.
But yeah, so. There you go. That's the FCC stuff. If you have any more questions in the chat, you can put them in there. We'll try to get to them in a bit. There's a couple of like behind the scenes stories I have for you guys this week. The first one, people were wondering why Buzz was yelling at Fernie and I earlier this week. he had another one of those moments. You can tell when he's really pissed because all of a sudden it'll get quiet and you just hear him go, "Let's take a break." And if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you just see him push back, and he does one of these things. He'll usually grab like a drink of water. He'll put the nasal spray in his nose, whatever it may be. And he's so pissed. So basically, we have these conversations because I brought up on the air a week ago the prize pigs. There are prize pigs that listen to radio stations. It's a very minimal number, but they happen. And basically, I kind of called them out on the air because. And one of the points that I was trying to make was the fact that people who call immediately when they hear the word contest, chances are you're not going to win. Because if we're looking for caller 9, you're going to be, if you have 3 phone lines, 1 through 3.
There you go.
So how goddamn loud is that? Is the stream picking that up? That's
I don't know.
The KLAQ studio.
Hold on. No, it stopped. No, we can hear we can hear a buzz across the hall playing whatever he's playing, and we are in the KROD studio, which is mostly soundproofed, and the door is closed. And
I thought it was buzz, but no, it's further down the hallway. Anyway, and so what I was trying to get to is that if you want to win a contest, you want to make sure that you wait for the phone number to be given out, probably a couple of times, because for the most part, we don't even start answering the phone. Like usually if we do it going into commercials, we don't even answer the phones until you hear the commercials. So if you're calling before that, you're wasting your time. I'm actually trying to give hints here. But the one irritating thing with Prize Pigs is when they're the people that try to win constantly, no matter what the prize is. I've had people try to trade out a prize. They're like, oh, I won this prize, but I really want this prize. No, you won this prize. This is what you won.
Listen to this shit. This pissed me off so bad, right? So we gave away.
I love it when Scott gets going.
We gave away this Father's Day thing, and it was actually a ridiculous prize, but whatever it was, it came with this nice little basket that the sponsor had thrown in at the last minute, and we gave it away online. And I go to pull the winner, and it's a automatically generated thing. I hit the button, it tells me who the winner is. And I should check because it gives me some information there. What I didn't check was the zip code. I should check the zip code every time, because if I don't, then who knows? And it turned out that this guy from New York, who's a prize pig, this is what he does all day. He goes around radio station websites and he enters shit.
And you were where at the time?
Was that?
And you were where at the time?
Here. This is it. This was here. This was a couple of months ago, here in El Paso. And so by FCC rules, once I've announced a winner, I got to give him the prize. Like, you can try to talk to him or whatever, but now I've got to get this guy this huge basket, and I got to ship it all the way to New York. And he took that prize away from a local person. And the other part of the prize was like this medical thing, some sort of it was like getting the glands in your armpits done so you don't
like at a local place?
Yeah, at a local place. And I'm trying to dude, do you mind giving this up so I can give it away to somebody else? Because you're clearly not going to come to El Paso to get your fucking armpits taken care of and shit like that. Look like a monkey on the stream. Anyway, so that pisses me off.
Yeah, it's irritating because we have this conversation frequently. We like to give away the prizes to the people who, like, for Blink-182 tickets, I really want to give them away to a Blink-182 fan.
Exactly.
Especially if it's like backstage, or that prize that Lisa has where you get to go watch the band perform 3 songs beforehand. That's really what we like to do. Now, if you're happy about just winning something, that's perfectly fine. I'm not like in any way, shape, or form going to knock that.
Right.
But it's the person, like, I have an example of a prize pig where I was at an event. We were giving away tickets to this one. I'm going to try to keep this as it wasn't even here. This is when I was in Florida, but I'm going to try to keep it as generic as possible. We have this one prize that we're giving away at the event I was at for this one concert. This other guy showed up. He had won tickets to this other concert. And for the 2 hours of that appearance, he was trying to convince me that even though he won this concert, which the contest was over for this one,
right,
that he should be able to trade it out for this one because he liked these bands more. And the guy wouldn't drop it, and the guy ended up getting super pissed off at me. So those people exist. It's unfortunate. And I just, in all honesty, I truly like giving prizes to the people who want them, because it's one of the joys of doing this job, is being able to make somebody happy like that. Like if it's somebody who gets a Blink-182, the guy who won the Weird Al parody. Ooh, perfect transition. Here we go. This is my next topic. The perfect transition, because the guy who I believe won the grand prize was the one who was super excited. He's like, I've been listening to Weird Al for years. It was my kid's idea to do the contest. That right there, like, thank you, sir, for being a true fan and doing that. That's why we like doing contests like that, because you're guaranteed to get a fan.
That's right.
When we see people post pictures of themselves at Chihuahuas games and thanking us for them, love to see that. Like, that's where I'm coming from. But anyway, shit, I can't go to the parody thing yet because I haven't even answered this original one. Right. This has been such a dude. This has been such. I'm sorry, you guys. This has been such a ramble fest. But so the reason that he was yelling at us was, so if you listen back to that part of the show, you're right there. Dan just said, "How are you going to the next topic?" If you haven't even said what you were yelling at. I'm sorry. My brain's in 1,000 places.
Yeah, right, you and me both.
I'm still on that merge thing in my head. So when I was saying, Buzz was like, well, we love the list. Like, he looks at the listeners as a whole, which is why he's great at his job. Me, I look at, like, there's these good listeners, and then what I'm talking about are these ones that are irritating as fuck over here. He hates that. He's like, he's like, you do not bash the listeners on the air. He even yelled at me that day, like right at that moment, and then after the show. He's like, you don't bash the listeners. And I'm like,
in the meeting, we talked about it in the meeting. He was all upset.
And I'm like, okay, it's his show. If that's what he wants, it's perfectly fine. But sometimes it's just so much fun getting under his fucking skin, like, because he does it to us. And so on Monday, he there was a neckline call, and he was bashing this neckline caller, and Fernie made the first comment, and Fernie's like, I thought you told us not to make fun of the listeners. And you can already, because I can kind of see Buzz. Usually I can see him pretty good if the camera's on him, because that screen faces my studio. So that's how I can actually see Buzz moving live.
Yeah.
Because on the stream, it's obviously delayed, but live, and you can already see Buzz, you can see him getting pissed. And he starts to move on, and it's maybe a minute and a half later, and he just keeps going on. And I just mumbled into the microphone, I go, stop making fun of the listeners. And at that moment, he just goes, let's take a break. And just fucking leans back. And I'm like, and that's when you got him. But then that's also the point when I know this is when I need to stop. Because if I push him any further, it's going to set him over the edge. Yeah. So I did stop. We all stopped. But it was during that commercial break when so we have the talk back buttons so that we can all talk amongst each other in our headphones. And he's like, you do not fucking bring that up. That was something that we talked about. Nobody has a fucking clue what you're talking about. Like, he was pissed off.
But Buzz also
I don't think he was really yelling. Like, Fernie brought it up on the air about how he was yelling at us. Yeah. I don't think he was really yelling, but Fernie thinks if he's cursing, he's yelling, but that's not the case.
Buzz can also get into this mindset of do as I say and not as I do.
Oh, yeah.
He can break the rules, but the rest of us can't.
Which it's his show.
Yeah, and it's true. It's to an extent, it's true.
To be perfectly honest, it's his show. So if he says do something, we have to do it. I'll give my input, and if I can poke fun of it and get him worked up, I might do that every now and then too. But anyway, so that's what he was legitimately upset about.
Let's hit some stuff here in the chat here.
Yeah, but because then we have the next one.
Okay, here. So hold on. No, you can't take a staff member to the Blink 182 concert, Carlos. Sorry. And you can say vagina, but you got to be careful again on how you. I wouldn't say vaginal discharge because
there's no vaginal discharge.
That's too far. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. I'm losing so much going on. Joanna is on vacation. Emily had decided to leave. She
got her master's, and
she got her master's. Like she
was like,
she doesn't have to be an intern anymore or a part timer. She's gonna go get a real adult job, and good for her. And like she's totally welcome back on the show anytime she wants to. Come back, and she's we're all still friends, so it's all good.
Rick, what did the caller say or do? I don't even remember. I just know that it was Buzz. Like, I've asked him specifically. I go, why is it when you say something bad about listeners? Because you'll notice, it was Friday when Romy Rain was in, and I got her to give a shout out to all of the YouTube streamers or chatters, and Buzz underhandedly made the comment, could you tell them to get a life? And I brought that up. I go, what's the difference between you making fun of probably your most loyal listeners who listen to the YouTube stream every single day, watch it every single day, and interact with us every single day, and me saying something about a small portion? Oh, it's all about the tone. It's all about the tones. But again, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's his show. If he says do something, we do it. And you normally you do it without question, but there's sometimes where things you just know it's going to be funny because you can fuck with them a little bit. So, but anyway, that was why he was yelling at us on Monday. And then this next part was kind of an inside scoop into like how our meetings go sometimes.
They're very interesting. We really almost should have like live stream a meeting and not tell anybody one day.
So it was it was probably a couple months ago when they first announced that Weird Al was coming to town, and we pitched the idea to do a parody song contest of and by the way, I didn't tell you guys, the loyal ones here on the chat, that to be angry at Buzz because he did say it jokingly. So don't be upset with him about it. It was a joke. Which is even funnier because he doesn't understand the actual interaction and how loyal you all are.
Yeah.
So it was like probably 2 months ago when we were first presented. Weird Al's coming down. Is there a contest you guys could do? Something bigger than just Caller 9. And we'd pitched the idea, why don't we do a parody song contest? Have people call the neckline.
Right.
Quick side note, if Jesus Herrera's in the chat, we did get your song. Unfortunately, I went back and checked it. It was one of the ones that since you had like a backing track, we couldn't understand you. So we couldn't enter it. We couldn't hear it. Like, it sucks you went to that much more effort. But with the limited time for the content, like if that contest was going for a week, I would have reached back out to you and told you, can you do one without it? But unfortunately, with the limited amount of time, we weren't able to do that. So I'm really sorry that happened. But thank you for the entry. But when the idea was first pitched, everybody seemed pretty on it.
Yeah.
Except Buzz. He was, and this is what he does.
This happens so often.
This is what he does in the meetings. So he goes, nobody's gonna call. And then he sits back and he rests his arm on his stomach like this. And he sits back, and we're like, how do you know? I just know. Oh, fuck. If we had how many times in a meeting where he just says, I just know. So he doesn't think anybody's going to call. And we kind of forgot about it. It wasn't until Thursday of last week when the guy with the tickets came in and was like, hey, by the way, you guys promised to do this contest. And so at that point, we're like, fuck, is this going to be enough time? Are we going to be able to get it on? I wrote that one rap really quick, the one to Sucker MCs that you heard over the weekend. I was anticipating, I'm like, I really hope that we get called, at least a few. Like if we get 3, I'm happy.
Plenty, yeah.
And I'm like, Joanna's gone. What if we get flooded with them? So my ass was just here like super early on Monday to check that neckline. We had a few. We like on day 1, we at least had a few. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then we kept promoting it throughout the day, and then we got more and more. And what sucks is there were even people who were like, hey, I'm so-and-so, here's my number, here's my parody song contest. And then it hung up on them.
Oh.
So
yeah, I got an email.
There's got to be a better way. That guy did get entered, and I think he won.
Oh, awesome.
He won, or he came close.
I got a way we can do this on the web in the future. We can have people upload their MP3s. It'd take a little work, but next time if we do something like that, we'll have a better backup plan. Yeah,
it's like I think I would hope that we would be able to do it through like email. Like if you could, leave it, there's got to be a better way to do it. But I'm glad that we got the amount of parodies in. And you know who loved the contest at the end? Buzz, because he gave him parody songs he could play now. So this is what happens so frequently. Perfect example too here in El Paso, Ice Cream Fest over 4th of July weekend.
Oh man, I didn't get
Would you have one bowl of ice cream? How are you gonna want another one? Like, how much ice cream do you need? That place was fucking packed. Like, I did hear that like the regular lines and stuff really sucked because it was moving nice and slow.
Yeah.
I still thought it was a great event. It was a fun event. I'm looking forward to it next year. The fireworks were awesome. The ice cream was great. But it's another thing that he almost immediately, if it's not his idea, he shoots it down. And then there's a lot of times where he gets proven wrong. So, but that's why it's a team effort. If we only listened to him, we wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. So sometimes you gotta really push him out of his comfort zone. So Phil and Daniel both. Yeah, we've got lots of different ways you could get MP3s to us. You can upload them directly to our servers. That I can create a form that happens. So
you can email them to us.
Yeah, and then
it's an MP3.
email.
Just make sure it's not like a WAV file or something that's huge.
YouTube URL. That's a great idea, Phil. You could also do that, and even a Dropbox. But yeah, if we ever do that again, that'll be a lot. Well, we'll be a lot better prepared.
Oh, I gotta show you guys here. I don't know if you guys went and checked, but I did put these up on my Instagram earlier. So Buzz walks into the studio, and the first words out of his mouth are "no fat jokes." So I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not.
Kind of, yeah, a little blurry. Maybe pull back a little. Let's see. Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
So his belt broke and his pants were falling down. And which, like, you would think he would have to have that thing like on the last rung. No, he had it like on the second or third, but he has no axe. So he has to cinch those things so fucking tight to keep them from falling down.
I have the exact same problem.
So
I seriously do.
I know, because I got a badonk.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. So then this was about an hour later, and I looked down, like the door to his studio was difficult getting open. So I looked down, and I go, what the fuck is this? It's a pair of jeans, because he went and switched into his workout shorts.
Oh, that's
hold on. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see
okay.
it. Yeah, I see it.
Wait, Rick. Oh, Rick, you want this?
That's exactly it. All right, so I got to go back and address this because this is absolutely true. Okay, Kimberly, is that why he doesn't join you on here? Because it wasn't his idea. He did not think that the live stream would be a good idea at all.
Originally, he when it comes to the AfterBuzz, we were like, okay, let's do one. We'll do one AMA, and that's when we had more people in here. And I wanted to continue to do it because, you know, it's like today, like I get to give you guys some inside stories on some stuff, like the FCC stuff. I'm hoping tomorrow we can do the merging traffic video that we spent probably 20 minutes on at the beginning of this video. But I wanted to continue to do it. And an inside story on this one is that Fernie didn't want to do it. He thought he was obligated to do it. And I told him no. I'm like, I'm the one doing it. You don't have to. So he went to Buzz and was like, hey, I don't want to do the AfterBuzz. Personally, I think once a week is too much. So then Buzz gets it in his brain. Once a week is too much. And he then proceeds to give me a 5-minute long speech about how, well, if these are the things you're talking about on the AfterBuzz, these are the things we should talk about on the show. These people should be calling the show. And I'm like, it's not how it works these days.
Yeah,
like this way, like right here, I have everybody, you know, looking at the, you know, I can actually look at the stream. It's a little more interactive. Obviously, the audience is smaller. But he was very adamant. And in the meetings, he's like, I just don't. Maybe once a month. But
so every now and then
we going fine now.
We may be able to drag him in every now and then and give him, you know, do an actual AMA.
Yeah, like we brought him in. We brought him in a couple of times, and there was.
Chances are.
Oh yeah, you can go to Twitter or my Instagram if you want to see those photos. My Twitter handle is Brandon Goats. It's my first name with the word goats on the end because goat is my nickname. And then coincidentally enough, on Instagram it's at Gotimus Prime.
Oh my. Is
my Instagram as well. So you can follow me on either of those. And I posted both of those. Gotimus, GOATIMUS_Prime.
Right. It's in the chat now.
There you go. Yeah, that's my Instagram is that Gotimus Prime one. So make sure that you point that out because Brandon Goats is Twitter. But yeah, so those are the main things I wanted to cover. FCC, and man, this one almost ran 40 minutes.
Yeah, it is like it's been a behind the scenes kind of week.
Yeah,
like it's just been like a kind of dramatic here at the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
But not bad dramatic.
No, good dramatic. Like the kind of good dramatic. Like it pushes the show forward.
Yeah. Which it's interesting. Like, you know, when it used to be like if something, you know, bad went on the show or some people were like butting head to head.
Yeah.
After the show, people just fucking bolted. Nobody was talking to each other. It wasn't fun. Now, like yesterday, when I flat out told Buzz to shut up on the air because I was trying to get through my merging, like why it actually helps traffic, and he just wouldn't stop talking. Like he just kept. So finally, I just go, "Would you shut up?" So I was like, "Do you want to have an actual conversation, or do you want to keep cracking jokes?" Because I flat out told him yesterday after the show, and we were joking about it. I flat out said, "You don't have any right to complain about El Paso traffic if you're not willing to look at the statistics that show you that if you stay in that lane and merge at the end, it actually improves traffic. Like you are no longer allowed to complain about it. If you do, I got a soundbite all ready for him to go on the air. All ready to go. I think I can play it right here.
I love how excited you are about the merge thing. It just really makes me happy. But this is what we're doing now at the AfterBuzz. We're educating the people.
We're solving problems. Where did it go? Do I not have it loaded in here?
While he's looking for that, no, Phil, Buzz isn't always moody, but sometimes he just shows up in a mood, and it's every now and then, and it's
we really need to make sure that's not the way it's coming off.
Yeah,
he's always moody. He's not. It's just a kind of an extreme moody when he does get there.
And it's usually like maybe if he's like super tired because he has trouble sleeping, getting up.
God, dude, that last night, man, I could not. Yeah. I went to bed. I was in bed by 6 o'clock, and one of the newer comics that I'm reading is The Extraordinary X-Men.
Yeah.
And I read a couple of comics. I'll usually read 2, watch a little bit of TV on my iPad, asleep by 7:30.
Sure.
Not last night, man. Fuck, I just laid there for hours on end.
Damn.
I ended up like turning on The Office.
You can get you some drugs or
which
something.
Was, well, you know, I have stuff to help out, but it was just last night was a weird night. Like, for some reason, I was just wide awake. Like I landed on the episode of The Office when they out Oscar. And he starts going, and Michael Scott's talking about how he's like, I've been calling people fatty since I was in junior high. And he's like, it doesn't mean gay, it means lame. And like, just all the, like, you really forget how funny that damn show.
That was a great show.
And let me, I think I got it here. The drop that I have all ready to go for Buzz. Make sure the sound is turned on.
Quick check, or is our audio still behind the video here on the live stream?
Oh, bitch.
It's all ready to go for Buzz anytime he starts talking about traffic, because he's not allowed to complain about traffic anymore. I'm flat out telling him. If you don't, but here's the thing, if you have statistics that prove otherwise, I'm willing to listen to it. But if your defense is it's a douchey move to be in that lane, it's a douchey move to get over early and create more traffic. That's the bottom line. Because Brandon Coates said so. All right. Is there any other last questions?
No, I think we're kind of caught up on the. I mean, other than
that was a rambler.
Yeah, we went all over the place. I feel like we journeyed today.
Yes, and I appreciate you all joining us for this journey.
So I don't see anything here in the chat that looks pressing, but
Daniel, you're gonna call tomorrow to instigate Buzz talking about traffic. Go ahead, man.
It'll be great.
You guys can all, if there's a topic that you guys want discussed, one of the easiest ways to get it brought up is by calling the neckline. Because if you call the neckline,
you can't ignore it.
Well, we check those things. We check them at the beginning of the show, and then we check them periodically through the show, and that's something Buzz always asks for throughout the day. And so if there is a topic that you guys think might, like Arabham brought up, you know, NASA's stream, I guess, went down, and he's saying because it was an alien ship was seen. Call the neckline to bring that up, because that will spark the conversation for Buzz to talk about
there you
it.
Go.
And if you need it, the neckline is 844-805-6325. That's 844-805-NECK. So if there's anything that you want to bring up that you think would be a good topic for us, bring it up. Hell, if you want to make fun of me again, like so Katie, who's filling in for Joanna this week, she's been checking the neckline, and there's the one guy who's just berating the crap out of me for my thoughts on merging. And she's sitting there with this like horrified look on her face, because I think she didn't know if she should send it to me or not. And as I walked by, and she looks at me, she goes, "This guy's a hater." And I'm like, "So what?"
Yeah.
I go, "He's not the first. He's not going to be the last." Like, I guess before I got here, they didn't really air a lot of negative.
Oh, really?
Calls. I don't know if they did or not. I just know that it was kind of frowned upon. And I think it was because a lot of people like on the show can't deal with people hating on them. I don't care.
Yeah, there are some.
You're not going to make me cry. I'm happy with my life. I don't do anything maliciously. I'm pretty well intentioned. And if you have a problem with me, you can always talk to me about it. If you want to make fun of me, go ahead. That's one of the reasons I love Bill Burr's podcast, because when people send him letters, it's always like they sign the letter, "Go fuck yourself." And it's like, I find that funny. Like, that's perfectly fine. Like, I have no problems with it whatsoever. Like, you're not going to damage my life by saying something on the neckline.
He's right, though. There are a lot of people in radio, they can't take the hit to the ego at all.
I was talking to
you got to know who
you
are, man. You just got to know who you are.
I was talking to a buddy of mine. Like, that's when I talk about being confident, like, people have called me arrogant. I don't think I wouldn't define it as arrogance. It's confidence, because I know who I am. I'm happy with who I am. I'm content with who I am, because I know that my intentions are the best of intentions when it comes to everything. You might not see it that way. You might not like my attitude towards certain things. You might think I'm a loud, obnoxious fuck. you're not the only one. If you're watching this and you think I'm a loud, obnoxious fuck, there's probably a club. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but it's still not gonna hurt my feelings, because if I were to give a fuck about what every single person thought about me, then thanks, Scott. If I were to give a fuck about what every single person thought about me, there's no way you'd ever be happy in life. Like, there's going to be people that hate you. There's going to be people that love you no matter what. And then there's that middle group of people that don't really know you. I feel that those are the people that you need to focus on. Those are the people, obviously the people that love you, you're going to love them too. But the people who are going to hate you no matter what, it's perfectly fine.
That's
man.
it. Gotta know who you are. Is Caitlin getting a full-time position?
No, just to fill in.
She's just hanging
Just to
out.
fill in for when Joanne's gone.
The boss's daughter. She's got to have something to do for the summer. So, all right. I guess that's about it, unless anybody has anything else to say. We bring the proceedings to a close.
I don't think so. We certainly rambled on here, man.
Yeah, this was. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but we'll have to figure it out when we have these kinds of days. Maybe we'll structure it a little tighter. But
yeah, I mean, I had it written down.
one thing leads to another. Anyway. All right.
But yeah, and then tomorrow I'm hoping at 10:30, and all the guys, everyone here in the YouTube chat, I'll let you guys know tomorrow as well. I do have a couple more tickets to the Alamo Draft House double showing for you guys tomorrow, and then I'll also let you guys know. Hopefully, we can do the merge video because I wanted to like holy shit. This is a tease for tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
If the merge point is here, all right, this is where it goes to one lane. Like, this is where it's officially one lane. And there's some dickwad who's back here blocking both lanes because he doesn't want people to pass him, and he's a mile back. This is what I ran into on Trans Mountain. I was also on the top of that fucking hill in one lane because people were blocking it. This is a full mile of road that is being unutilized. So take this mile of this lane and you tack it on back here. You are creating a mile of traffic. It's not fucking rocket science. You're being the dick, sir. And now you wonder why people think I'm a loud, obnoxious ass.
Okay, we got to end it
That's
there.
it for
We gotta
me.
end it there. That's it, everybody. We'll be back next week and tune in tomorrow and find out what happens. This could get ugly.